Hello everyone, I am the Lore Explorer and this is Outer Wilds. In today's loop, we will be visiting each of the Outer Wilds explorers and looking at what it is they are doing and maybe talk about why they are there. With Outer Wilds, the loop makes it seem like they've been there forever, but we know there's a little more to them. As always, this video will contain spoilers for Outer Wilds. A kind user in the Discord named Microsoft Edgy asked if I could make a video talking about the isolation we see in Outer Wilds. And though that would make an interesting topic, that's not exactly what I'm seeing. Sure, when we run into them, they're all playing the same tune on their instruments, and that sort of indicates they all wish they were together around the same campfire playing that same tune. But most of them seem happy where they are, to be honest. We will start with Chert, the group's astronomer. We don't really know how long Chert has been there, but we know why they are there. If we head to the Harthian Observatory, we can see an internal conversation from Hornfells, posted on the wall nearby an image they took through the giant telescope. With this picture, Hornfells realize not every star they see in the night sky is just a sun, but multiple suns, forming a galaxy. Hornfells was a little overwhelmed by this information, and so they sent out Chert to try to update the star charts after this revelation. So when we find Chert, they may be playing a tune that reminds them of home, but Chert is happy where they are. They are doing exactly what they love, astronomy, and plus, they are helping their friend ease their mind, which is always a good thing. Remember now, Chert has a spaceship. They could call up Hornfells on the radio and be home before the conversation even ends. They are not really alone in this. The next one on the list is quite puzzling, actually. Esker has been on the Outer Rock since our player character was in school, and they rarely ever get visitors. Chert stops by every now and again, and they do talk on the radio with Hornfells and Gossin, but they straight up tell us they want company and they're lonely. Esker's story is really actually quite sad. They send their scout home to Timber's Hearth to feel like they're interacting with people sometimes, and they even keep logs about the Harthians to imitate conversation. But again, something just deep down inside me tells me that even Esker is where they want to be. When they were younger, Esker and the other venturers were just getting off the ground, literally. Their spaceships wouldn't fly so far and broke down way more often. I'm not sure if Esker offered to set up this base, but it seems like something they would do. They care so much about everyone. They'd rather be on the Outer Rock alone than have one of their friends crash there and have no one to help them, like they may have gone through in their journey in the past. And though the newer rockets fly farther now and don't break down as often, Esker is still content there. If Esker wanted, they could radio Hornfells and just say, I want to come home now, bud. And Hornfells would ready up a spaceship to go pick them up in an instant. But Esker is happy there, where they help so many Harthians explore the stars. Now, for whatever reason, Chert is my favorite Harthian, but I love the next one the most. Rebic has been on their journey for a short while now, even though they are deathly afraid of space. But there's one thing that scares them more than that. The thought of having died without knowing more about the ancient race of Nomai. Rebic is extremely clever. I'm not sure exactly how, but Rebic was even able to interpret Nomai writing, at least a little bit. To start their journey, Rebic headed to the closest Nomai ruins they knew of, the ruins on the Outer Rock. When they got there, they got to tinkering. Rebic worked out that this is a Nomai locator of sorts, and they were looking for a specific thing. And they were able to decipher text that led them to Britto's Hollow's South Pole. And sure enough, if we go there, we find more logs from our lovable, scaredy cat friend. Though their ship got a bit dinged up on the rocks on the way down, they touched down safely, only to find themselves locked out of the Nomai building that they were led to. Not to be deterred by the many lava rocks bombarding the planet, or the risk of falling into the black hole below, Rebic braves an entire quarter of the planet on foot. They finally found some Nomai ruins and decided to set up camp in the small refuge of the site. It must have been pretty recently, since the fire here is still actually smoldering and showing a bit of smoke. Rebic found a way down beneath the surface not long after this, but they had to psych themselves up before they could even try to make the trip. Braving the risk, Rebic took a few steps and tripped. Luckily, they landed on a small platform below. This is actually where we find Rebic. strumming along on their banjo, playing the tune that reminds them of home, sure, but Rebic wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the universe right now. They're here, getting ready to psych themselves up to go explore an actual Nomai civilization. They wouldn't want to be anywhere else, maybe besides the Quantum Moon or the Black Rock star system, but hey, what they don't know doesn't hurt them, right? Everyone's favorite astronaut is up next. Gabriel is a bit of a mystery as well, not only because they are our time buddy, but because they act so strange. When we show up, they're all, "Oh, hey, it's you," like we just blew their freaking mind. Yet, when a cyclone whirls by and launches them to space, they don't even miss a note. But that doesn't mean they're a dimwit. As soon as they experience quantum behavior, they just simply understand it. Maybe not the cause of it, but at least the machinations of it. And I don't even think they visited the Tower of Quantum Trials. This dude is just in tune with the universe, which is probably why they instinctively knew to take one of the ancient Nomai statues back to the observatory. I'm not exactly sure how they flew it home, but it must have felt important for them to go through so much effort. All of that effort seemed to have wore out their batteries, because they headed right back to the beach to relax. But while there, Gabriel got close to another Nomai statue, and this time, the statue was active. This leads them to where we find them, in a hammock, just playing their flute to clear their mind. But Gabriel is so carefree, they don't even freak out and try to leave. They don't even realize their ship is gone. They're content just where they are, and they even radio back to talk to Hornfells about the whole mess we're going through, so they're not really alone. And this leads us to the legend themselves, Feldspar, the actual enigma of the game. Feldspar has been through so much, it's hard to understand how they are even alive. Heck, they were the second member of the Outer Wild Venturers, back before they even had spaceflight, back when these tin birds had wings. They flew every single test vehicle that Slate built. They are the OG, and we find traces of Feldspar everywhere. On Brittle Hollow, they lug jetpack fuel all the way across the planet, an experienced traveler's trick. They won't have to walk back to the ship if they refuel the tank here, but we still find some fuel they've left behind to help us on our journey. On Giant's Deep, we find a campsite on Bramble Island. Here, Feldspar leaves a log full of excitement. They've mastered Giant's Deep, having reached its core without even being electrocuted, the definition of a maverick. So off to Bramble they go. They're not going to stop yet. Yet again, Feldspar inexplicably made it deep inside of Dark Bramble. There, they are floating along inside, trying to wrap their mind around the small seed that appeared to grow as they go through them. When all of a sudden, the next light they see wasn't another seed. They were suddenly face to face with an angler. But when danger appears, a maverick doesn't panic. Their immediate reaction is to solve the problem. And right now, there is a huge problem. Proximity to this beastie. So Feldspar turned their ship around and floored it. But their ship doesn't maneuver like ours. They can't just move around in every direction instantly. Still, despite being chased by a giant angler, they ducked through some vines to get away. Ducked is just a polite way to say crashed, but even without a ship, Feldspar wasn't calling it quits. They found a jellyfish to camp in right off the bat, and even further exploration led them to the amazing campsite we find them in now. And when we find them, they sure are excited to relay their triumph to us. They were the first Hearthian to survive Dark Bramble. They conquered it, and we can offer to take them home, but they don't seem to be in any hurry. They tell us that we can tell one of the others to come and get them. Ha! Yeah, right. Which one of those Hearthians are skilled enough to make it here, huh? No one but us, probably. And even then, it's just a 50-50 shot of us surviving the trip again. But my bet is Feldspar wants to stay here. They've mastered the solar system and became a legend. Heck, they already were a legend, which comes with a lot of expectations. Here, they are at peace. And really, what better end to the legend of Feldspar? They mastered it all. They may as well leave their body there as a flag, a symbol to the other Hearthians that the Outer Wild Venturers has been there, and the amazing Feldspar was first. Now, I know the initial prompt for the video was supposed to be the isolation in Outer Wilds, which I tried to address as much as I could, but after playing the game and listening to its messages, especially, all of our Hearthian friends are right where they need to be, and most of them feel the same way. It's kind of a shame the Hearthians get overlooked as much as they do. In my first playthrough, I talked to them a bit, but I surely didn't go around and keep talking to them and exhaust their dialogue trees and all of that, which is really a shame because there's a lot of writing and good stuff put into each character. I enjoyed each one of them thoroughly after I got around to doing it, so I just kind of wanted to share it with you guys and track their records, and I don't know, it kind of made sense to do with this topic in mind. But if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like or subscribe to the channel. And if you really liked it, maybe hit the bell to be notified for the next video, or give the video an applause, which you can find next to the like button. And if you really want to show support for the channel, you can join the community of members here on the channel. You'll get access to emojis and badges in the live stream chat, as well as a special role in the Discord, and fuel providers and spaceship providers can also choose a custom role if they'd like to in the Discord. And, of course, you get a special thank you from me in every video at the end with a slide. But for now, this is the Lore Explorer, just glad you joined me for the video to begin with, truthfully. And I hope to see you in the next one.